Hi there, everyone. Welcome to The Daily Gardener. I'm your host, Jennifer Ebling. It's September 19th. There are some lines from a TS Eliot poem that go like this. Oh, do not ask, what is it? Let us go and make our visit. If you've never visited your local botanic garden this time of year, you really should go. I have a friend who recently did this, and she posted amazing pictures from her visit to the Minnesota Landscape Arboretum. And she wrote this when she posted her pictures on social media. This is my PSA. Get yourself to the arb now. Don't wait to go see the change in color of the trees like everyone else. Go now. The colors of the flowers are crazy. This is just a couple of quick snaps with my phone, which doesn't do justice. No filters, editing, or enhancing. The colors are just that bright and bold. I've never gone this time of year. I go in the spring a few times, midsummer, and then I wait like everyone else for the leaves to change, and then I go again. I've even gone in the winter, but never late summer or early fall. For some reason, I thought there wouldn't be anything to look at. I thought the flowers would be half dead, like my potted plants at home. I won't make that mistake again. Here's today's brevities. Today is the birthday of the botanist professor Mildred Mathias, who was born on this day in 1906 in Sappington, Missouri. Matthias was a professor at UCLA for 12 years until 1974. She also served as president of the American Society for Plant Taxonomists and the Botanical Society of America. Matthias is remembered as a pioneer in the area of ecotourism. She enjoyed bringing botanists and amateurs alike all over the world to study and discover plants. From her early days with Dr. Lincoln Constance at Berkeley back in 1937, Matthias began to focus on the Umbelliferae. The Umbelliferae is a family of aromatic flowering plants, and it's commonly referred to as the carrot or celery or parsley family. It also includes other important herbs like Angelica and Annis Carraway and chervil, dill, fennel, lovage, and parsnip, just to name a few. The growing habit in plants throughout the family varies. The taproots of carrot and parsnip are big enough to be harvested as food. Plants like coriander, dill, cilantro, and parsley are harvested for their leaves, which contain essential oils that are very aromatic. Umbelliferae prefer soil that is cool, and they grow best in the shoulder seasons. Umbelliferae are favorites among ladybugs and parasitic wasps. The family Umbelliferae is named because of the tiny flowers that are clustered together to form an umbel, a little flower overhang, reminiscent of an umbrella. It's fitting, then, that the Mathiasella buploides green dream is named in Mildred Mathias's honor. Green dream is native to Mexico. It was discovered in 1954. The umbelliferous flower head of green dream has these jade-green bracts that appear from April to June. In the fall, the flower heads turn a charming pink. And here's a fun fact. Green Dream was a bit of a sensation at Chelsea in 2006. Over the course of Matthias's career, she published over 100 articles and books about the Umbelliferae. Volume 26 of Madrono was dedicated to Matthias, and the tribute recognized her pioneering spirit and energy. In 1993, Matthias was honored as the Distinguished Economic Botanist of the Year. And today is the anniversary of the death of Orville Redenbacher, who died on this day in 1995. Redenbacher started out at the USDA as an agricultural scientist. In that capacity, he became the co-creator of a new hybrid of popcorn called Snowflake. It was lighter and fluffier than traditional popped kernels, and Redenbacher became a household name with his commercials for his popcorn. To this day, Orville Redenbacher is the #1 selling popcorn in the world. Nebraska produces more popcorn than any other state in the country. And today is the birthday of the third son of Charles Darwin, Francis Darwin, who was known to his family as Frank. Francis published the results of his work with his dad in a book called The Movement of Plants. The book details their experiments, which showed that young grass seedlings grow toward the light. In 1887, Frank shared a portrait of his father in a book called Life and Letters of Charles Darwin. The letters revealed Darwin's fluid prose and clarity. And Frank said that correcting his father's proof sheets made him a better writer. There's no doubt Frank had been taught by a master teacher, and in turn, he became a teacher as well. At Cambridge, he taught students of pure science and medicine. Frank Darwin received many honors during his lifetime, including the president of the British Association in the 1908-1909 year, and in 1913 he was knighted by the Queen. It was Frank Darwin who said, "The personal effect of teacher on pupil cannot be bought at a price, nor can it be paid for in any coin but gratitude. It is the possibility of earning this payment that makes the best part of a teacher's life." On this day in 1991, the New York Times printed an announcement about an upcoming symposium at the New York Botanical Garden featuring Dr. James Duke. Duke was sharing his research on the topic was plants for health and healing in their role of modern medicine. The article shared Duke's incredible personal experience using plants to promote his own good health. It said this: Dr. James Duke is one of those rare botanists who actually eat what they preach. He loves to watch the evening primrose open within 60 seconds. But he also munches on its seeds, which are high in tryptophan, an essential amino acid that can relieve pain and depression. Purple coneflowers thrive in his rather rumpled garden in Fulton, Maryland. He eats their roots to boost his immune system. To cure a cold, he mashes up the stems and leaves of forsythia. To help strengthen weak capillaries, he makes routinade from violet and buckwheat flowers, lemongrass, and rhubarb stalks, as well as herbs high in rutin, such as anise, chamomile, mint, and rose hips. In Unearthed Words, here's some prose about autumn from Louise Seymour Jones. Spring flowers are long since gone. Summer's bloom hangs limp on every terrace. The gardener's feet drag a bit on the dusty path, and the hinge in his back is full of creaks. Today's book recommendation is The Backyard Homestead by Carleen Madigan. This is a top-selling book on Amazon, and it launched the best-selling series about all things backyard. In The Backyard Homestead, Carleen shows you how to produce all the food you need on just 1/4 of an acre. Best of all, the book is loaded with ideas, illustrations, and enthusiasm. And it's eye-opening to see just what can be accomplished on a standard-sized home lot. Carleen has been in garden publishing for many years, but she also lives on an organic farm outside of Boston, so she knows of what she writes. Whether your backyard ambitions are modest or you're scaling up for complete food self-sufficiency, this wonderful guide will help you learn a range of essential skills, from starting seedlings and beekeeping basics to producing and preserving your own food, all of which brings an inordinate amount of satisfaction. Today's garden chore is to start moving your houseplants back indoors. This way, they can adjust gradually to limited sun exposure and humidity. If your allergies can handle it, make the move while your windows are still open to ease the transition. And don't forget to move all of your tropical houseplants inside by the end of the month. Maybe just add it to your calendar as a reminder. Finally, here's something sweet to revive the little botanic spark in your heart. I recently had the opportunity to re-watch a video featuring Dr. Oliver Sacks, who practiced medicine in New York City across from the New York Botanical Garden. In the video, Sacks reflected on the garden and what it meant to him. I've cobbled together a few of his inspiring thoughts. Here's what he said. I think of this garden as a treasure. First, it's a haven. In a noisy, crowded New York, we need a haven. We wander around and time doesn't matter too much. When I worked at the hospital opposite the garden, I used to come in every day. Specifically, I would come in after seeing my patients, but before writing up my notes. And I would walk around the garden and put everything out of consciousness except the plants and the air. But by the time I got back, the patient's story would have crystallized in my mind, and then I could write it straight away. But I needed this sort of incubation in the garden and to go for a walk in the garden. I think nature has a healing effect. The garden has affected me and does affect me in various ways. It's not just the pleasure of walking around, but also the very special virtues of the library and the museum, and the fact that in some ways, this is a university as well as a garden. And whenever people come to New York from out of town or out of the country, I say, let's go to the garden. I would like to quote a couple of lines from a TS Eliot poem. Do not ask, what is it? Let us go and make our visit. And so I think you can't really describe the garden. You have to go visit it. Thanks for listening to The Daily Gardener. And remember, for a happy, healthy life, garden every day. The Daily Gardener is produced weekdays in lovely Maple Grove, Minnesota. You can find complete show notes over at thedailygardener.org, and be sure to share the show with your garden friends. You can find The Daily Gardener on all your favorite social media, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest, and of course, Facebook. While you're over at Facebook, don't forget to join the Daily Gardener community. Just search for these 3 words, Daily Gardener Community. The group will pop right up and then request to join. Finally, I want to thank my team at Podfly Productions, where my fabulous editor is Eric Begay. Have a great day in the garden, and we'll see you tomorrow.